It makes a difference when a community gets thousands of new jobs. It makes a bigger difference when all of those jobs pay more than double the federal minimum wage. All Amazon employees make at least $15 an hour. Employees aren't the only ones who experience the impact of our starting wage. Neighbors like Sylvia and Francois of Sylvia's Cafe in Opelika, Florida, feel the impact of that extra spending money. See their story at aboutamazon.com/15.
Uncle Henry, mornings and afternoons on WNTM.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing? Well, once again, our stupid government officials are at it again. They're screwing us all up again. Anyway.
Message deleted.
Uncle Henry, how you doing? It's been a while since I called. I'm a truck driver. I'm gone a lot. But I heard something that was really, really funny. And I know that you're not going to play it on the air. No way. But it's really
Message deleted. Press 4.
That's right. Uncle Henry Show, good afternoon. Hope all is well with you. With you, the listener. Thank you, listener, for being a listener. If you'd like to join the show, you can. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I've looked at some news reports already about the thickness of the traffic, that people did not wait for Friday, that even today, our roadways are getting clogged with individuals that are seeking adventure elsewhere. Now, if you're one of the people seeking... Oh, by the way, we have a breaking news story that I'm going to share with you here in a moment about a state senator in Mobile, people shooting into a state senator's house. Now, nobody's been hurt. That's why I'm not talking about it right now, but I'll get to that in just a moment. But I'm already hearing about all of the people jumping into their vehicles and just looking for adventure in some other place, and that's clogging up the roads. Now, ALDOT is taking the commercial vehicles, the commercial trucks, and diverting them around the Wallace Tunnel for the holiday weekend. So this is going to be Cochran Africatown Bridge action for a lot of the big trucks. So keep this in mind. I don't know if they obviously ALDOT believes that this will help, that it will help out if they divert the big trucks off of or away from the Wallace Tunnel to the Cochran Africatown Bridge. There's been a lot of criticism on this show and on other shows about the idea of a truck-only toll bridge. We've had truckers calling in saying that it's not the trucks that are causing the problems with Bayway and Wallace Tunnel. I don't know. Is this going to be a way of proving to us that trucks cause a problem? We'll all find out, won't we? But commercial vehicles, the big trucks, being diverted to the Cochran Africatown Bridge. So we'll talk more about that, I'm sure. And we'll be able to digest, did it work at the end of the upcoming Independence Day holiday weekend? Now, let me get to this story. I'm not shocked that guns are being fired in Mobile. Unfortunately, that's becoming more and more commonplace. NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson. Let's listen to her report from NBC 15. Somebody shot up State Senator Vivian Davis Figure's house. Now, she wasn't there. Nobody was hurt. But somebody shot up a state senator's house. Let's listen.
Police say Senator Vivian Figure's home was shot into around 25 times. They're trying to figure out the motive and when this happened. One by one, Mobile detectives took pictures of bullet holes in the front of Senator Vivian Figure's Mobile home. Detectives searched the grass and cul-de-sac looking for shell casings. You can see an officer placing evidence markers in the front yard. Police say around 25 gunshots were fired. Senator Figures wasn't home at the time of the shooting and was notified today that her home had been shot up. Detectives knocked on neighbors' doors looking for information. Neighbors told me they heard a handful of gunshots early Wednesday morning.
First shot rung out. I woke up and looked at the clock. It said 5:01, and I lay still because I didn't know whether if I got up, any bullets gonna be flying through the windows or something.
She says she peeped out the window but didn't find anything suspicious at the time.
It scared me real bad. I just couldn't move right then and there.
This morning, she noticed a skid mark coming from the cul-de-sac near Figure's home, leading all the way down the street. The department is trying to track down the shooter's motive. Was it political or personal? Figure's term ends November 7th of 2022. Senator Figures did not want to comment, but neighbors are just thankful she's okay.
She and I and all of us get along real well around here. And she's been a real good neighbor. And everybody around here, they close-knit.
Mobile police are working to get to the bottom of this shooting. They're asking if you have any information to give them a call. That number is 251-208-7211. Reporting live in Mobile, Rachel Wilkerson, NBC 15 News.
So you heard the report there with the question of, was it the motive political or personal? Now, the political angle doesn't make sense to me from the standpoint of the Republicans are in control of the legislature. So whatever Democrats try to accomplish, if the Republicans don't go along with it, they get blocked pretty easily, which is bad news if you're a Democrat. So I don't. It's not like she's been able to push through major legislation on her own and cause people to be upset. So I don't really buy into the idea that it could be political. And she's been around for a long, long time. So why would it be now versus years ago? No, it sounds personal to me. It sounds either personal or random. And the reason I say personal is because 25 shots. Now, if you want to make a point, you don't need that many shots to make a point. But 25, that's quite a bit. So that's at least, now I'm not a professional profiler or criminologist or anything. I'm barely professional. And I guess I'm professional as a broadcaster by the definition since I do get paid. But it sounds personal, or some people just want to cause trouble. And it may have been that whoever shot up the house didn't even know who lived there. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it'd be extreme vandalism, but there are people that do that kind of thing. But I feel bad for Vivian Davis Figures. Nobody wants to hear that their house has been shot up 25 times. Nobody. So I hope that she can take care of the damage, and I hope that she can still feel secure in her home after that has happened. And I hope that the police can catch whoever it was. Back with more in a moment. Uncle Henry Show, it's 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Cliff, what is on your mind today?
What I want to say is, Uncle Henry.
Yes.
What's going on is if you'll notice I was looking at Fox News, I guess that's the only way you're going to find it at. They held a senator hostage until she signed some papers. These people are not playing, Uncle Henry. And it has nothing to do with the right. Conservative people will not hurt anybody. Conservative people believe in godly principles. What's happening now is I'm listening to a lady that tells me that the crime in this city is just hysteria. Crime over the country is hysteria. Nancy Pelosi saying things at the gate are just a smoke screen. We have a set of people, Uncle Henry, that are brain dead, stupid, or just ignorant, and they are using us because the only people who hear this stuff. I mean, Uncle Henry, how is it that we got a real problem with homeless people in California and in a lot of other states? But now I can find a place for 40 or 50,000 illegals and run them through and get them situated, but we can't do nothing for the homeless veterans.
You know, Cliff, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I hadn't thought about that. But yes, I was looking yesterday at the buses and other ways that the people that have crossed the border illegally are being distributed throughout the country. You make an excellent point that we have these people that are homeless. And for whatever reason, especially out on the West Coast, we're told that they're homeless because of the economy, that it's not their mental health problems or addiction problems, that it's the economy. If that's true, then why don't we just load them all up and distribute them across the country, just like we're doing with the immigrants?
Hey, man, you got to have a hotel or somewhere to take them. But the fact that you can get the White House press secretary to keep saying that the Democrats wanted to, they're the ones that are defunding the police because of the things that they're doing. What to defund the police, the right or defunding has nothing to do with social programs. And that's what they're trying to say, programs, social programs. But they got us, my people, so ignorant to where it's a catchphrase, and then we all jump on it, but it's not exactly what the Democrat Party is doing. Uncle Henry, how in the devil could they turn you into believing that because you remove a couple of statues of your great people on your party make the Republicans look bad? But that's what they're doing.
Well, ignorance is costly.
It's dangerous. Let me tell you something, Uncle Henry, about God.
Okay.
It's only justice, right, and wrong. There's no in-between in this. He is such a just God. There's no right and wrong. And it worked for a while. But you go back to all the way to Lyndon B. Johnson, the people that were sticking you in the butt can say, I love you for so many, it's just you repeat it to where you can get Joe Biden, his best friend, Robert Byrd, George Wallace, and all these people that hated you, and then they'll tell you, we love you, we love you, love you. You know why we hadn't come any farther? It's because we're listening at the people that were actually at our demise, or still at it now, because what they're telling us now, Uncle Henry, is all the violence and the killing of us is hysteria. Can you believe that?
No, well, no. And I don't think a lot of people believe it. And what Cliff is talking about is I believe that AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has said that the crime surge in the country is not real, that it is just hysteria, that the right-wing media is creating hysteria. But we just had a meeting in Mobile this past Sunday and Monday because of surging crime, and all the mayors came and are trying to figure out what can we do at the local level about all this. And it's happening in all the major cities. Cliff, I don't think the American people are buying into that. I think the American people can see it for what it is. Now, they'll disagree on how to solve it, but I think people see it is not just hysteria.
Well, Uncle Henry, you see how the people come out about this racist decision about RL or whatever the name is. We're going to have to come out about everything. Critical race, we're going to have to come out about everything else because it's not a white issue.
Okay, Cliff, I've got to run. It's time for the news. Thank you for calling, Cliff. Uncle Henry Show, 535. Telephone number 251-479-2723. And we have Bert on the phone. Hello, Bert.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, what's on your mind?
I just want to thank Almighty God that nobody was hurt in what was apparently an assassination attempt against Senator Figures.
Well, I agree that I'm grateful to the Lord that nobody was hurt.
Usually my politics are opposite of hers, but a few years back, I was living in her district, and I offered to volunteer for her campaign in the primary because I really did not want to be represented by Herman Thomas.
That's a good move.
I'm not going to go into all the issues I have with the Herman Thomas, but I think every Mobilian knows all of that. And there's one thing that Senator Figures has pushed for many years that I totally agree with, and that's that she wanted to ban smoking in the bars. I've worked in the bars since I was out of high school, but I'm highly allergic to secondhand smoke. It literally makes me sick to my stomach. And in Florida, there's a rule that if a bar serves food, you have to go outside to smoke. And I wish that was the case in Alabama. I lived in Citronelle for a little while, and there was a club I played at where there was a sign saying no smoking allowed, and there were no ashtrays on any of the tables, but you go to the bar and there's ashtrays all around. So they kind of flouted that rule.
Hey, I'm curious. I hope you don't mind me asking. You say you played at a club and the club was in Citronelle?
Yes.
Now, what was that like? You don't have to name it, but I'm trying to imagine a club in Citronelle. What was it? Did it do a lot of business?
Yes, it did, but not as much business as the club across the street. Because the club across the street had a working air conditioning system, and the club I played at, not so much.
Wow. So there's enough of a nightlife. They had two clubs in Citronelle at the same time. Wow.
Right across the street from each other. Plus, I've played at the what do you call it? It's not the VFW, but the American Legion. There's an American Legion post in Citronelle that I've played at many times. I want to give a shout out to all the Citronellians.
Well, absolutely. Citronelle I find it to be a fascinating place. And it has, like a lot of small towns in Alabama and in the South, it has its own beauty, doesn't it?
Definitely. And there's a little thing about citronelle that not many people know, Uncle Henry.
Tell us.
100 some years ago, there were 2 springs.
Yep.
In citronelle. One of them was iron and one of them was sulfur. And apparently the people that were suffering from tuberculosis or something like that figured that they could be healed by the sulfur spring. And the people with general debility from the iron spring. And one of my distant relatives, who was the founder of a huge corporate entity, moved to citronelle during his time of debility, thinking he was going to be healed by the spring. And there's a church in citronelle that to this day has a stained glass panel dedicated to him.
Well, I
don't know if the spring helped him or not.
Yeah, but I have heard about the springs, but they don't get talked about very often these days, do they?
No, they don't. And I don't know why. There's also something in citronelle related to Civil War history that not many people know. It's called the Surrender Oak. Yeah. It was a month after Lee surrendered to Grant, the last Confederate army east of the Mississippi surrendered in citronelle under what's known as the Surrender Oak.
Yes, that was taught to me years ago by the late Ben George.
Well, I attended a ceremony there where the descendant of General Taylor, who was the son of President Zachary Taylor, presided over this. They have a big ceremony there. It's a really big deal.
All right. Well, Bert, is there anything else on your mind?
I think that kind of covers it all, Uncle Henry.
All right. Well, Bert, thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening yourself. I appreciate your phone call, Bert. There he goes, Bert. Longtime caller to the program, sounding in good health these days. 251-479-2723 or 251-479-2723 is the telephone number if you would like to join the program. Maybe you've got a tidbit about a town that I don't know. Maybe there's something in Axis, Alabama that I don't know about. You can call and let me know. 251-479-2723. And again, the email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Now, I mentioned earlier that AlDOT was going to be diverting big trucks, commercial trucks, around the Wallace Tunnel for the holiday weekend. Let's see, the tweet from I think this is from AlDOT. It reads, all commercial vehicles being diverted around Wallace Tunnel for the holiday weekend. Eastbound diverted to I-65 northbound or Water Street exit. Westbound diverted to Cochran Causeway. Delays due to this on Bay Bridge Road, westbound at I-165. The effort to take as many big trucks away from the Wallace Tunnel as possible. Now, I've received an email on the topic. Let me go to the Uncle Henry Show email inbox and see what the emailer has to say. Subject line on the email is no trucks in the Wallace Tunnel. And the email reads, next headline, worst traffic jam ever on the causeway over holiday weekend. Tighten up and have a beautiful day. And that email from the Common Man. Common Man, thank you for your email. Again, email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. See, I'd planned, I have some things I need to do this weekend on the Eastern Shore, and I was hoping I would be able to go back and forth several times over the weekend, but just hearing the traffic today, It's not even Friday, and already reports of quite the traffic. So it's a little intimidating, the idea of what kind of traffic we're going to see over the weekend, Mobile to Baldwin and Baldwin to Mobile. If I didn't have things to do over there, I would shelter in place and just enjoy all the benefits of living in Midtown. Again, Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com, telephone number 251-479-2723. We are going to be taking a brief time out and hear some traffic and some weather, and then we'll be back with more Uncle Henry Show. Yes, we are thinking about tropical weather, although the National Weather Service today said that it's too soon. It's too soon for you to even think that there might be a local impact. So I've decided to trust them and not start freaking out, to use a slang term. They say it's too soon, so I am not going to think about it, at least not today. Uncle Henry's Show. Isn't that wonderful to hear Walk the Line presented in an instrumental form with a lot of the sauciness removed from it so that we can enjoy it in a relaxed way? You can walk the line and be relaxed, I believe. We're going to talk to Angelo, Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Angelo, we're at Thursday, and already, I mean, people are already getting that fever of wanting to be off work and being less productive. You can't relate to that, can you?
As a matter of fact, no. I pretty much work all the time.
You do?
I really do. Work Monday through Saturday at the shop, and then usually my day off on Sunday, I'm working on other stuff.
So you just can't relate to that. Well, tell us, first of all, because I'm not going to be here tomorrow afternoon because I just wasn't built like Angelo. I don't have the superior, Angelo was raised without television and all that good stuff. And he was given firearms and knives probably before he could walk. I just wasn't raised that way. So I don't have the same work ethic as Angelo. I won't be here tomorrow. Angelo, what about the holiday hours? Do you have special hours for Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry over the Independence Day weekend?
Well, we do to a point. So we're going to be open, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 as normal, Saturday, 9 to 2. Might close a little bit early on Saturday, more weather dependent than holiday dependent. We will obviously be closed on Sunday like we always are and proudly celebrating America's independence, the 4th of July. But we are going to open back up Monday morning. We know so many of our customers that are off for Monday because of the official holiday for the 4th of July. And those people are hardworking Americans. They don't get the opportunity to come by the shop because they're working when we're open. So Monday morning, Ron and I will be open as normal at 9 o'clock in the morning, probably close around noon, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But anybody looking to get into gold and silver bullion, want to come by and talk to us and learn about gold and silver, some rare and precious coins, we're going to be there hanging out, talking to folks, and having a good time, Uncle Henry.
Well, that makes sense. Everybody's going to do their celebrating Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, and Monday's just going to be a free day for a lot of people. So they will be.
For a lot of people, it will.
So you're right. I think you're right. They're going to come by and they're going to want to look at all the beautiful things you have there. By the way, if you're feeling real patriotic, you can find a lot of patriotic stuff at Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry. Hey, talk before we're out of time, give people a lowdown on the current state of inventory.
Again, we've been maintaining a high level of inventory for months and months and months now, and every month it increases a little bit. So right now we have $20 gold pieces, both certified and raw, $10, $5, $2.50 gold pieces, 1 ounce silver rounds, 10 ounce silver bars, 1 ounce gold bars, a lot of other 1 ounce gold pieces, quarter ounce gold pieces, more collectible, rare, numismatic coins that I could even tell you about. And we have rare currency as well. So if you want to get into gold and silver, precious metals, you want to look at some pretty jewelry, you want to get into bullion and get into investing and hedging, we have lots and lots of stuff for you to check out. You can check out some of it online, mobilebaycoins.com, or like and follow us on Facebook or on Instagram.
All right, Angelo. Well, Mobile Bay Coins and Fine Jewelry, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. You just heard the hours and the website, mobilebaycoins.com, all that kind of stuff. So, Angelo, you've been very kind to me, and you've grilled food for me. What is your favorite thing to grill?
I would honestly have to say I don't know if I have a favorite, but I am definitely a carnivore. I could pretty much subsist entirely upon meat. So I think this weekend we will be grilling, by we I mean I, pork products, chicken products, sausage, beef, and who knows what else will cross over the grill here. So we're going to be doing some ribs, some hamburgers, hot dogs. I will send out an invite to you before too long, Uncle Henry, because we would love to have you here again. And again, it will be carnivore time this weekend.
Hey, if you could only grill one meat, what would it be?
Oh, man. I would say pig in general.
Really?
Can I pick an animal like pig? Well,
really?
Think about it. You've got ribs, you've got sausage, you've got bacon, you've got, pork butt. You've got all of those beautiful pieces of a pig that are so tasty once you take them out of the skin and put them on that grill or put them on that smoker. So, quite frankly, that's probably my favorite if you're talking about smoking and grilling.
Okay. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Nobody asked, but I'm all in on the beef, Angelo. We would not agree on that. I would want every kind of steak and any kind of ground part of a cow.
And again, I'm not opposed to that.
I know.
I just really think on the smoker or the grill, I like my pigs.
All right. One more question about grilling. Where do you stand as an adult male on the concept of the hot dog?
They're a lot of fun around the holidays. I grew up in part working in a grocery store, and I learned, unfortunately, what hot dogs and certain things are made out of. And I tend to not partake of those myself, but I understand that they are a great American tradition, and I grill them up almost every single year here at my house. But I do not partake of those things.
All right. Angelo, have a great Independence Day weekend.
I often find out the hard way that all IPAs are not created equal. Some are hot bombs that forget about flavor. Others only taste good if you drink them with a heavy meal. Fortunately, Founders Brewing Company has found a way to enjoy an IPA anytime and at any occasion with their all-day IPA. You can taste the hops, of course, but it's the complex array of malts and grains that make all-day IPA a beer that will grab your attention. Whether you're relaxing after a long day at work or hanging outside with your friends, all-day IPA will become one of your favorites. It's one reason why Founders is in the top 10 of the nation's craft breweries and a staple in my fridge. When you taste all-day IPA, you'll understand how they got there. Look for Founders in your favorite beer store or check out their full line of beer, and now hard seltzers too, at foundersbrewing.com. Founders Brewing Company. Born and brewed in Michigan since 1997.
At Huntington, we've been asking ourselves, is there a way to make payday faster? And good news, everyone. Now, if your direct deposit is set up at Huntington, we'll make your paycheck available to you up to 2 days early and with no added cost to you. If you're wondering, why would a bank do that? We get it. But for us, it's about looking out for people. That's how we reinvent banking. Huntington, welcome. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply. Learn more at huntington.com/earlypay.
Uncle Henry's show. And I'm still don't know what to say after 6 p.m. I'm used to shouting good morning. I don't know that this is afternoon anymore. Is it good evening? Good evening. Uncle Henry's show underway here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Going to start the hour with the very masculine, the very patriotic veteran, Pete Ream. Pete Ream, hello.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing?
I am pleased, Pete Ream, that you have honored me with a phone call. The reason that Pete is on the phone line with me is that you have proposed something. There's something being proposed to Battleship Park. Can you explain what you are proposing?
Yes, sir. As everybody knows, there's a lot of people disappointed that there was trying to plan to have a huge Independence Day celebration at the Battleship this Saturday, July 3rd. And they were inviting President Trump to be the guest speaker, and it was being sponsored by the Alabama Republican Party. And for all sorts of reasons, that's not going to happen. And lots of people are extremely disappointed that we're not going to have this huge Independence Day celebration at the Battleship. So, you know, Alabamians are very patriotic. We still want to have some sort of Independence Day celebration, a huge patriotic celebration. So I proposed, the Tea Party proposed, rather, Common Sense Campaign has proposed that we rent the park and we invite Governor Kay Ivey to be the guest speaker for a patriotic Independence Day celebration as soon as she's available.
So this is a proposal. Have you heard anything from Governor Ivey on this?
Well, Governor Ivey's office has actually responded and said they're sending the request to her scheduler, and they will get back to us.
Okay. All right, good. Now, what do you think is going to happen with the Battleship Commission? Do you think this will pass their no partisan politics rules?
Well, I don't know, and I quite frankly, I'll be upfront. I'm asking the question because I'm trying to determine what are the parameters. What for political? Is it okay for Governor Ivey to come speak? I mean, I honestly want to know the question. Is it okay for Governor Ivey to come speak? Is that political? Does it become political because, she happens to be a declared candidate because she's declared she's running for re-election?
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Is that political? And then that begs the question, if the governor can speak, why can't a former president speak?
Right. It's
so who knows? Maybe we resolve this and we'll have both of them.
Well, it is something that that when the weather's good, it's a great venue for this type of thing. So it is something that we should have a better handle on one way or the other, because I'm sure you could have lots and lots of different observances and rallies out there.
And we do. I mean, we do a Blue Star Salute
right
now for over 10 years on Armed Forces Day every year at the Battleship. And it is to commemorate the military, the veterans, our service members, the fallen. And we do that every year. And we have had all manner of speakers from active duty military, retired military. Governor Bentley spoke, Senator Sessions spoke, Congressman Bradley Byrne has spoken at that. So we've had politicians speak at patriotic events, and seems to be, if that's okay, why isn't it okay for a politician to speak at an Independence Day rally? I mean, really what it's getting to the point is, if it's okay for one, why is it not okay for the other? Or are we going to say we take this to the logical extreme that politicians are by their very nature political?
Right.
So that means politicians are prohibited from speaking at any state-owned venues because it would be political. I mean, is that the precedent we're going to set, or the rule we're going to adopt?
Pete, I'm with you that this does need to be clarified one way or the other. It does need to be clarified one way or the other. And I think most people that are not actually in office and in these big public battles, I think people of many different political parties all would like to see a basic principle of what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So
exactly.
So why not? If one can be there, why can't everybody be there?
And honestly, if you're going to have an Independence Day rally, and they're going to put on a big show, they're going to have music and fireworks, and the speaker is President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, President Carter, or President Trump, why does it matter? I mean, whenever we have these events, these are monuments out there, and these events we always want to go and commemorate the people who served, the military, the veterans, the service members, our history. And whenever we have these events, I can tell you we're always seeking a high-profile speaker,
right,
to make it worthy of the event.
Yeah.
To honor all of those. And it makes it worthy of the event. It also makes it draws people to come to the event because, you know, a lot of people sometimes have not been to USS Alabama Battleship Park, but because of a particular speaker, they will go. And then once they've gone, they go, wow, this is cool. I need to bring my kids and grandkids back. I mean, that's why this whole brouhaha that we've had kind of doesn't make sense to me.
So isn't the governor, doesn't she have a connection to the Battleship Commission?
Yes, she is the honorary chairman of the Battleship Commission. She is the honorary chairman of the Battleship Commission, the USS Alabama Battleship Commission, and she also, all the commissioners are appointed by the governor.
So it sounds like it'd be pretty easy if she wanted to speak there, that she could slip in. You'd think.
Well, I would think so. I mean, like I said, I can't remember what year, but the Blue Star Salute, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, whenever it was, Governor Bentley was the keynote speaker for the Blue Star Salute on Armed Forces Day. So that precedent has been there.
All right. So,
you know.
So you've already heard from the...
One thing is that...
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to say, you've already heard from the governor's office, and they're looking for somewhere on their schedule. So now, are you going to wait to see what the commission says?
Yes. I've made a formal request to them. I have to wait to see what they say, if it's allowable.
Okay. Well, you may, I don't know how long it takes to get a full attorney general's opinion. Maybe for next Independence Day.
Perhaps it might take that long. I don't know, but I think it's an issue that needs to be resolved one way or the other. Because I mean, again, I think I'm still very disappointed that we're not having the event this Saturday.
Right.
Because in my mind, what an opportunity to highlight and emphasize and showcase South Alabama, and what great publicity it would have been to have a Mount Rushmore, like the Mount Rushmore Independence Day celebration last year in South Dakota. Imagine that's this year. It would have been the USS Alabama.
Yeah,
with the Mount Rushmore celebration.
It would have been tremendous publicity. Pete, I've got to run. I'm on the break, but thank you, Pete Rehm.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, Uncle Henry.
10 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street floor.
Uncle Henry's show. In the last segment of the show, we heard from one of the most masculine people in South Alabama, Pete Rehm, talking about how he wished President Trump had been allowed to speak at the Battleship over the weekend. And he has put together a proposal to hold a patriotic rally at the Battleship with Governor Kay Ivey as the keynote speaker, and no date has been specified. Let me see if I've got the proposal that Pete Rehm sent out. He just says flexible on dates. So whenever Kay Ivey would be available, the Common Sense Campaign and Pete Rehm would like to have Kay Ivey at a patriotic rally whenever she would be available at the Battleship, if the Battleship Commission would allow the governor of Alabama to speak at that venue. Would it be too partisan? Now, in our discussion, Pete talked about the publicity it would have brought, and that's true. It would be national publicity for the Battleship, which that could be pretty good. That would be big. Plus, it would be national publicity for the inevitable gigantic traffic jam. President Trump at the battleship the Saturday before Independence Day would create the largest traffic jam in the history of the Bayway. And that would get national publicity. Maybe that could get us the bridge built. Maybe, yes, maybe political figures from around the country would notice and think, wow. And President Trump wouldn't be able to ignore it. He'd look over and he'd say, look at that. That's the biggest traffic jam I'd ever seen. And now I can't do a Trump impression, so I'm not going to try. But you know how he can really be very descriptive about things. And I'm sure that he would have to talk about how all the traffic is stopped. He'd say, are all those people stopped just to see me? It could have helped us get a bridge built. Hello, caller.
Hello, Uncle Henry. How are you today?
I'm good, sir. John, thank you. You're live on the radio.
I was just listening to the news recap earlier, and it says that Congress has passed a $350 billion road and bridge infrastructure bill.
Yes.
Now, if we could get this, Citizen Mobile would call Washington and get our Alabama delegation to do something besides eat lunch up there every day. They might could bring this to the forefront. You know, Chuck Schumer, he wants a new bridge in his state. I bet he'll get it. But if enough people call Washington, and make it aware that we really need this bridge down here. And maybe this would go towards helping to get the bridge here.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if that's the way it worked? If we could just make a few phone calls and get that thing built.
Well, I'm talking about more than a few phone calls. I mean, we need a lot of people in Mobile to call and just flood that switchboard up there and make them understand that this is a dire situation in this state. It's just if you're traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast on 10, that's the biggest bottleneck between the two borders. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And people that travel through Mobile, they're going to have memories as they pass through Mobile, as they go through New Orleans and places like that. And the only memory they're going to have about Mobile is that bottleneck at that tunnel. And that's not a good memory. Now, they want to highlight Mobile and South Alabama. Get a decent bridge going across there.
I'm with you. Hey, so many thousands of people are with you.
Okay, Uncle Henry, that's all I've got today. You have a good day. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide. Thank you very much for your phone call. Memories of Mobile as you drive through it. I'm trying to think of, now he said this, the caller John talking about people's memories of towns as they drive through. As they don't stop, they're just driving through it. I'm trying to think, because I drove to Jackson, Mississippi last weekend, and so I drove through Hattiesburg. And I don't have a memory of it. I mean, I remember I drove by on the interstate, but nothing stood out at all. What is this? I'm trying to think of a town I've driven through that I had an impression of. I'll think about it and maybe I'll have something to share later. But John, thank you for that phone call. 251-479-2723 is the number, 251-479-2723. Speaking of Governor Kay Ivey, Pete Ream wanted Kay Ivey. He wants Kay Ivey to speak at a rally, patriotic rally at the Battleship. I saw the story on AL.com about Kay Ivey and her reelection campaign. Her campaign has announced she's already raised $1.2 million in the first 4 weeks. It's good to be an incumbent. It's good to be an incumbent because people will donate money to the incumbent big time. And the AL.com story says that the biggest donation so far is $250,000 from Tuscaloosa businessman Stan Pate. I've never had enough wealth to even conceive of giving that amount of money to any political figure. I'm just not at that level.
This
Uncle Henry Show. It is 6:35. If you'd like to join the show, you can. 251-479-2723. That's the telephone number, 251-479-2723. If you enjoy watching the Friday night show, Friday Night with Uncle Henry, that we do, Johnny Gwynn does with me at the Container Yard Friday nights, we'll be taking off several Friday nights. So stay tuned. We'll let you know when the shows resume. Now, as we approach Independence Day, we're entering...
At Huntington, we've been asking ourselves, is there a way to make payday faster? And good news, everyone. Now, if your direct deposit is set up at Huntington, we'll make your paycheck available to you up to 2 days early and with no added cost to you. If you're wondering, why would a bank do that? We get it. But for us, it's about looking out for people. That's how we reinvent banking. Huntington, welcome. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply. Learn more at huntington.com/earlypay.
And we're back in the groove, back to the grind. But not everything has to be so routine, because every day at McDonald's, you can save on delicious faves with $3 bundles, like a McDouble or hot and spicy McChicken with small fries. Add any size soft drink for $1, medium frozen beverage for $1.69, or medium Minute Maid slushie for $2. Feels good to be back, doesn't it? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Minute Maid is a registered trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
The full summer season, and the Mobile County Health Department has been very active over the last 18 months. The pandemic, you remember that? And today I got an email from the Mobile County Health Department about summer safety, where they want all of us to make sure that we're safe during the summer. And let me see if I can find the press release from the health department here for you. They released safety tips. They've released government-sponsored safety tips for COVID-19, fireworks, grilling, picnic safety tips, sun protection safety tips, beach safety, rip currents, pool safety, temperature, and insects. Whenever this stuff is issued, I always wonder, how did mankind make it to the year 2021 without a governmental entity offering safety tips? Because when it's, for example, for like grilling out, I mean, there's just all these safety tips. It makes me wonder, how did we survive? Were there countless injuries back during the early years of this country, back during when the founding fathers, and I know that's now considered a politically incorrect term, but during the time of the founding fathers, were there countless injuries as people were cooking over open fires? Were there just people losing their loved ones to cooking accidents? But anyway, let me give you an example. COVID-19. This is what the Mobile County Health Department released today about COVID-19 during the summer. It says here in their press release, according to the CDC, celebrating holidays virtually or with the people you live with is the safest choice. If you do gather with people who do not live with you, gatherings and activities held outdoors are safer than indoor gatherings. And here are some steps if you attend a gathering, first, they advise that you have conversations ahead of time to understand the expectations for celebrating together. So I guess you're supposed to call somebody and say, hey, when you come over, don't hug me, don't touch me, don't breathe on me, don't smear any virus or blow any virus on me. You just need to have these conversations ahead of time. Don't grab me. The next tip is bring your own food, drinks, plates, cups, and utensils. So somebody invites you over to the cookout, take your own food with you. Don't dare eat what they're fixing. And again, the Mobile County Health Department today says avoid shouting or singing at your Independence Day gathering. Do not shout or sing. Like if you wanted to shout, USA, USA, don't do that. Or if you wanted to sing God Bless America or the national anthem, don't do that, because that could blow virus all over your outdoor gathering. And the Mobile County Health Department says wear a mask indoors and outdoors. Now, they're the experts. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I don't even like to watch medical shows on television. I don't. But I'm curious, has anyone confirmed that somebody has spread the virus outside? I'm just asking. But that's the advice today from the Mobile County Health Department. Wear a mask outdoors. Don't shout or sing. And bring your own food. Look, they're grilling out. Fine. You bring your own food. And that's just, and again, there's fireworks safety tips, grilling safety tips. Here, if you want to know about grilling, here's a couple of tips from the health department. Always supervise a barbecue grill. And they say use long-handled tools. Okay. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. This advice from the Mobile Health Department's just silly. They're treating us like we're children.
Yep.
Hey, they're still telling us to stay 6 feet apart. That's crazy.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, if you don't know what 6 feet is, it's the width of one of your mother's fat thighs.
Would you leave my mother out of this? How dare you attack my mother? We're talking about the safety of the community. We're talking about important safety tips issued by a governmental entity, taxpayer-funded safety tips to make us all survive. Some people, we were preventing injury and death with this discussion. Somebody might have gone to a cookout and had virus smeared all over them because they didn't know any better. How dare you use this as an opportunity to attack my mother, you freak! You sick freak! And see, you made me yell, which is, according to the rules, I'm not supposed to do. You made me violate a safety tip. You disgusting sleazebag. All right, listener, I apologize. I'm embarrassed. I know I lost my temper. But you know what? And the thing that gets me is my mother, she's still alive. She's normal sized for her height. She's of normal weight according to her height. And sometimes she's allowed to listen to the show when she's conscious. So there's a chance she could have heard that. It is just sad that here we are. And maybe this is all because of the pandemic and the lockdowns and the psychological problems that people have had. We've had a surge in violent crime in the country, and we've had a surge of prank calls. And maybe I can chalk it all up to the pandemic and our own responses to it. But again, my apologies to you, the listener. I know you're tuning in just wishing that I would have something remotely like a news item for you. And I was finally delivering it. You've been waiting, and I was finally dribbling it out there. And then it was torpedoed by a scumbag. Somebody that's probably out there, probably in an apartment that's empty. They're sitting on an empty milk crate from years ago. They have no furniture. They just have a smartphone and a big screen TV. Trying to upset people on their smartphone. All right, I'm going to regroup. I will finish the show despite my anger and angst and all of the other negative emotions that have been stirred up.
If you're tired of...
Uncle Henry's show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes, and then there's a show, Jesse Somebody. The replacement for Buck Sexting. The Jesse Somebody show is on after the Fox News. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, this is Johnny Mack. New caller, first time, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You are live on the radio, Johnny Mack.
Okay, I just want to make a comment about the tunnels.
Yes.
And the truck drivers.
Yes.
And truck drivers is no problem. It's these people coming in, with out-of-state tags and want to stop and look around in the tunnels and all that. And there's, no problems in the tunnels. They just want to stop and look, take pictures, and count the towels on the walls and stuff like that. I think they need to go around the Cochran Bridge and stuff like that instead of our truck drivers.
How could we do that? What would the sign say? All morons go to the Cochran Africatown Bridge this way?
To put it politely, yes, sir.
Or we could say something like free grilled cheese sandwich, Cochran Africatown Bridge.
Yeah, there you go. Something free over there. There you go. And most of them, they from out of state, Texas. And, I live in Theodore, and I work in Spanish Fort. And we go through that tunnel in the morning, we go through there zooming the speed limit and above speed limit going to work. Because all these foreigners, from out of state ain't going through there.
Yeah.
And we don't have no problems. 18-wheelers, no problem. People don't understand. Anything you go in the store and buy, it's been on a truck.
That's right.
And you slow the truckers down, and they got to spend more diesel going around, price goes up, guess what? The price goes up on the product they deliver.
That's right.
So, what the ALDOT needs to get together and put a minimum speed limit up in that tunnel like 55 miles an hour, and with it blinking signs on it and all that. And, maybe that would help the situation. And put like a fine if, going to fine them for speeding, fine them for going too slow.
I wish you were in ALDOT. I wish that you were there. I would feel better if you were making the decisions.
Well, if I was a younger man, I would. But I'm getting too old.
Now, did you tell me that you live in Theodore and you work in Spanish Fort?
Yes, sir. I work in Spanish Fort almost to Stapleton.
Are there any cultural differences?
I don't understand cultural differences.
Okay. Would the community, are people a little bit different in Spanish Fort versus Theodore?
No, hey, we get along fine. You know.
Good.
You know, hey, we talk, but a lot of people works over there at the plant I work at. I'm not gonna say the plant I work at.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, we get along great.
Good.
You know, we have Hispanics, blacks, whites, and everything else. And you know, it's just like a big family.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
And the people, you know, a lot more than I live over here and work over there, and they raise the same cane. Man, get these people. If they can't run the speed limit, get them off the road. Give them a fine. You know, if you can't run 50 miles an hour through the tunnel, you get a $500 fine.
Okay.
You know, like they take pictures of people running red lights. Gonna send them a ticket in the mail.
Yeah.
For running a red light. Do that with the slow pokes. You blocking traffic, dude. You know,
a slow poke fine.
Right. Just like a speeding fine. Give the same price if you're going too slow as it is going too fast.
All right. Well, I know a lot of people would love that. A lot of people would love that.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking to one now.
All right. Hey.
The both of us.
I got to run, but thank you for your phone call.
Yes, sir, Uncle Henry. I'll talk at you later.
All right. There he goes. I think he said he was Johnny Mack. I've only got about a minute left in the show, caller. I'm sorry, but we're running real short on time. Is there something you wanted to say real quick, caller?
Well, yeah, real quick. I've got the solution for the morons.
Okay.
They need to put a sign up and have them all exit and get a rectal craniotomy.
Okay. All right.
Surgical removal of their head from their rectum.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? That'd be a good use of the tax dollar, I think.
It would be. It would be. Give them a free cup of coffee, too.
All right. That's nice. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That's a nice way to end the conversation. Out of time for this edition of the Uncle Henry Show. Happy Independence Day weekend to you, the listener, all of you. B. Graves, David Whitlock, Hugh Prine, Pat Nelly, all the people watching on Facebook, and you, the listener.
Founders Brewing Company has found a way to make an IPA you can enjoy anytime that's perfect for any occasion with their all-day IPA. At 4.7 ABV, you can still taste the hops, of course, but it's the complex array of malts and grains that make all-day IPA a beer that will grab your attention. That full flavor and low ABV is what continues to make it a staple in my fridge. Look for Founders in your favorite beer store or check out their full line of beer at foundersbrewing.com. Founders Brewing Company, born and brewed in Michigan since 1997.